Republican Congressman Carlos Gimenez, a member of the Homeland Security Committee. We just saw in that report from CB Cotton just a tiny fraction of the immigrants who have crossed the southern border, and the nation's most populous city, which claims to be a sanctuary city, can't handle them. What are we supposed to do?
Well, look, it's only, by my numbers, it's less than 1% of an increase in the population of New York City. New York City, I think, has about 7 million people. So they got about 50,000 migrants there, and they can't handle the situation. Can you imagine, small town America or even smaller cities that don't have the resources of New York City, what they're doing? I know that here in my hometown of Miami-Dade County, we have thousands and thousands of migrant children that need education, and we're going to be providing them that education. But certainly, it's something that the federal government, should help us with, but they don't. And so, again, it's just a mess, and it's the mess because of the completely failed policies of the Biden administration.
It seems like the Biden administration and the vice president, Kamala Harris, who is, after all, the border czar, the president has tasked her with that job. They seem to want to do anything but what the former administration was doing.
Yeah, even though what the former administration was doing was actually working and protecting American lives and protecting our borders. And so if it was something from the Trump administration, it has to be wrong, and they're going to do something differently. But I also think, look, I just don't think it's about Trump. I think this is what they really want. They really want wide open borders.
Why?
They want this chaos. That's a great question. I haven't figured out yet, because you know what? Their own professionals tell them exactly what it is they need to do, and they just ignore those recommendations. And they keep, the proof is in the pudding. Whatever it is you're doing, it's not working.
Yeah.
When what Trump was doing was working. Hey, maybe you just want to modify a little bit what Trump was doing there, therefore you can call it your own and not Trump's. But they just want to keep this going. Look, it doesn't make any sense. And you know what? The American people are paying for it, not only with millions of illegal migrants now entered into the United States, but also because of that, we don't have a handle on the fentanyl that's killing about 70,000 Americans, every single year. The human trafficking that's happening now. Yesterday I saw, that great movie, The Sound of Freedom, and what horrible, what horrors lie for these children, and also adults that are being trafficked into the United States, modern day slavery, all done, by these cartels, and these cartels are running wild, and the Biden administration does absolutely nothing about it.
The biggest killer of Americans 18 to 49 is fentanyl right now, and nobody in the Biden administration seems to be caring about that. The Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, got an earful in front of a congressional committee this week on Thursday. Listen.
This administration has abandoned any semblance of border security and immigration enforcement, and Americans are paying the price, and they demand accountability.
Is it your responsibility or President Biden's responsibility to make sure there is operational control?
Congressman,
these are not hard questions.
You've taken this app and you've digitized illegal immigration and you've scaled it to the moon. Like, this app that you've got everybody downloading is like the Disney Fast Pass into the country.
We have a national security crisis, and you sitting here and saying, looking at us with very smiley face, it's unacceptable.
I showed you before, when you were here, the lost voices of fentanyl, the hundreds, the thousands of Americans that continue to die, 90,000 since you came into this committee and lied to us saying we have operational control.
That's what he has said, operational control of the southern border. It would be interesting to get his definition of operational control, Congressman.
Well, look, the operational control actually means that nobody is crossing illegally, and that's basically impossible to do. But there's a semblance of operational control, and he doesn't have a semblance of operational control because the migrants take the vast majority of the resources of Customs and Border Protection. They cannot protect us at the border, and because of that, you have this fentanyl crisis, this fentanyl flowing into the country, killing thousands of us every single week. 70,000 a year are dying of fentanyl, more than died in Vietnam. And so You know, this is a failure of epic proportions. That is the duty of government, to protect us, and Secretary Mayorkas and the president are failing miserably.
To say nothing of the drug cartels, which are getting the kind of income that most nations would like to have. Congressman Carlos Gimenez, we're going to have to say goodbye. Thanks very much for being with us today.
All right. Thank you.